POTFB, Brad. Happy Bucket Week.
We have the best theme song out there. Swear to God.
Yeah, shout out to the boys. Wave, Nick Skrill, Signar, friends and collaborators, Instrumental Volume 1 on streaming platforms. Check them out.
Yeah, happy Bucket Week. Yeah, feeling excited. You know, this is a first time in school history. I feel like we have an opportunity to go 12-0. First time that the opportunity has even presented itself for the program, which is really exciting. And just an accomplishment in of itself, right?
In of itself?
Yeah, to sweep your regular season slate, regardless of what happens the rest of the year, I think is a fantastic accomplishment for any team to achieve. And Indiana's
they got to do it first, though.
Obviously, they got to take care of business. But it's a great accomplishment. Like, we talk about championships and conference titles all the time. Going undefeated is pretty damn good. Only one team was able to do it last year in this era. Right. So it's like the fact that, you know, we're probably going to have 2 to 3 teams that accomplish that this year as well. Maybe just one. If, you know, some chaos happens this week, you know, it is rivalry week. A lot can happen. Right. So to be able to get through this week in what will be a very emotional rivalry, which will always bring in weird, you know, it's almost inevitable that I'm going to bring up a story of UCLA USC, as I've watched that rivalry very closely for about 2 decades. And yeah, there's just a lot. The ability to go through that whole stretch and finish out undefeated is a great accomplishment. And yeah, I'm just excited for the boys that they're obviously they want more than just that. But I think there needs to be some appreciation for accomplishing that feat.
100%.
Schedule. Not many teams are able to do it.
Well, no, yeah. And a lot of that, like somebody like Aiden Fisher talked about that in one of his pressers where he was like, you know, with Signetti, it's always the next thing and the next thing. And what can you get accomplished to then go accomplish your goal? So you don't always take the time to appreciate those things. But no, I do fully agree with you. I think the fact that Indiana's in this position in year 2 of the Curt Signetti era is ungodly impressive. And if you look at all the way the arrows are pointing in terms of the long-term prospects of this program, they're pointing way up. And like we'll talk about, like we'll get into recruiting. We'll talk about Heisman Doza. We'll talk about a lot of the guys getting, you know, recognized with, you know, these awards based on performance. There's a lot of really positive things going on in the Indiana football environment outside of the fact that this is the best football season they've ever had statistically so far. And if you can't tell, Brad's easily distracted. Obviously, if you're watching,
I was listening to everything you said.
No, but I was going to make this point because it's like the elephant in the room is like we're obviously I joked and said we're head up with Indiana, Kansas State. Obviously, if you are a fan of this program, you're probably a fan of Indiana basketball, and so you probably have that game on. I'm assuming you have us on a second screen. That'd be awesome. If anybody's inside
experience.
I have a request because I think we work well as a companion to this basketball game, right? Because you're gonna watch hoops and you're gonna do your thing, but you know it's Indiana football. It's bucket week. We got to focus here. So let us be your anchor to football while you keep an eye on basketball and all that good stuff. But do have a request. If anybody is streaming us from inside Assembly Hall, picture, please take a picture of the stream with the court in the background and tweet it at us, please.
That'd be awesome. That'd be pretty epic.
That'd be epic. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but you never know. With the power.
Honestly, I'd rather them be locked in. I'd rather them not listen to the pod and just be locked in and go ooh, whoosh, you know, and just
what is it
out there?
It's gonna be like an 8-10, 8 whatever, 8-15 tip off. Like the previous game is still going on. So yeah, listen, if you're gonna scroll on Twitter, yeah. Shout out to the Bonnies, North Carolina, the local team, kind of for me.
Woj, people forget Woj took over that team. You know,
yeah, that's his. He's the GM.
5-0 going into this game.
I got a buddy who played golf there, Brad.
Really?
Nice. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the college football playoff rankings first, which came out essentially as we were going live, or do you want to talk about the smoke?
Did they change it all?
Slightly. Oregon jumped Ole Miss.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. They beat USC. Okay. So that makes sense.
Miami and BYU each moved up. Or sorry, Miami moved up. Utah moved down one.
Interesting. Yeah, because Utah had a real scare with Kansas State, funny enough, over the weekend. I was watching
And
the end of that game.
Michigan jumped to 15.
Which means they're in position to make the playoff with a win over Ohio State. Wow. So
striking
fun.
distance.
They really are.
You know who's thrilled about that?
Reality where they make, I think if they beat Ohio State and we win, we're playing Michigan in the Big Ten title game.
There were a lot of different scenarios. I thought the funniest, I forget who tweeted it out, where it was like, I think it was Tom Fornelli that was like, thank God this insightful graphic exists. And if I just gave him credit for a tweet that wasn't his, I apologize. And it was like the bottom thing of the text was like, there are several scenarios still at play, and it didn't detail any of them. It just said they exist. It was like, all right, cool. I guess we got all the bases covered here.
Yeah, I think only 4 teams can make it, though. I think only Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana are still in the running for the Big Ten title game. Rivalry week still on the way. I think you can guess what each team is playing based on who the rival is this week, which will make the slate really fun. Love a good rivalry week slate. Yeah, I'm just pumped to be in this position. And the fact that this rivalry game, where it was so funny because, like, remember when we were going to the Purdue game last year, it was like win and we're in type deal, right? Because obviously if we lost to Purdue last year, I wouldn't have put us in.
No, we were out for sure. A 2-loss Indiana team with a loss to that Purdue team is out for sure. No questions. Like, and we wouldn't have been arguing. And they would have went and killed whoever they played in the bowl game, and everybody would have been like, "Holy shit!" Like they would have been.
They would have been preseason ranked 9,
exactly.
like Illinois was.
They would exactly. They wouldn't have snuck up on anybody. They would have beat South Carolina by 45 in that bowl game, and everybody would have been like, "Holy shit, we fucked up. We should have put them in the playoff." And it would have completely different in terms of public perception. So maybe that helped them a little bit. Maybe it pissed them off. Maybe it helped them work a little bit harder. But you know what? It's almost like none of it matters. Like Signetti's going to find whatever he needs to find to motivate those guys to work as hard as they need to. And I almost feel like it wouldn't have mattered. But I do think public perception would have been drastically different if they were, like an 11-2 with a huge bowl win versus 11-2 with the 2 losses they had, which were, I mean, you want to talk about good losses, which I don't. So
yeah,
that's the college football playoff ranking. It looks like
that's pretty crazy that they gave Michigan that in.
It is kind of crazy. They were at 18 last week. They beat Maryland on the road.
All right, so they're showing the field right now. So we're getting the winner of Ole Miss, Alabama right now.
I love that spot.
I love any spot. Like, you're going to get a good team. Like, give me Miami, give me Oregon, give me Notre Dame, give me Oklahoma. That's going to be a tough fucking battle for us to win, right? We get the 1 seed. We get the winner of A&M or the winner of Tech versus Group of 5.
Still like Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's coaching 3 different football teams right now.
Shut up. There's the Twitter brain for you. But yeah, he's probably going to Florida, is what I'm thinking.
I don't think so. I think it's actually more likely he stays. And we're gonna get into it a little bit. We'll talk about it.
That's fun. We can talk about that. That'll be a fun one.
No, I'm pumped. We are gonna talk about it.
All right. Tennessee with Houston's coming down the wire. You know, I know there's a lot of Kelvin Sampson haters probably listening.
Why would you say that, Brad? Is it because he set back the Indiana basketball program for recruiting violations that would be slap on the wrists today?
Yeah.
Or is it the other stuff, like the dark underside? Everybody just like doesn't want.
We don't really talk about that, you know.
Good basketball coach.
A lot of illegal activity with that team, with that era. But yeah, man, I like watching Houston play ball. I really do. I think in terms of just like the philosophy of just out conditioning the rest of the country to get to Final Fours, I think is ingenious, right? We're going to get the best athletes. We're going to be in the best shape of any team in the country. And with that, we can shoot average and play really good defense, and we're going to go to the Final Four. Like that. I love that ball philosophy as a hooper myself.
I like it. Oh yeah, shout out to Angelo pointing out the background. Yeah, we are festive right now. We got a little turkey background. I got to reach out this week and figure out what happened with our original background, but I do like the festive background. We got the hat, the pumpkin. It's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving week. I'm going down to
I love
Florida this
Halloween.
weekend. I'm pumped. I'll be in Fort Myers. I'm gonna try and catch the Lady Hoosiers play on Friday. Super pumped about that, and potentially, although it's at the same time as Indiana Purdue, Cavante Scarface Hugan in Booker High School plays in a state playoff game on Friday night.
Ooh. I think
So
my
if I'm feeling
Cubs
frisky, maybe I'll end up at that game too.
I think my Loyola Cubs are still in the playoffs. What's funny enough about my Loyola Cubs is that my president at the time actually passed away last couple of days. So R.I.P. Father Greg Goethals. Yeah, R.I.P. Rest in peace.
What the kid in front of us? LC4L or what?
C4L.
C4L.
Yeah. It was funny because like that's a funny story. Like we were sitting at the UCLA Indiana. I can't believe we didn't even told the story yet.
We did.
We were sitting at the Indiana UCLA game, and I was literally just spewing about Loyola Cubs, obviously. And then this guy sitting right in front of us is like, Loyola? Like, I was like, yeah, C4L. And he knew exactly what I was talking about. Like, that's so crazy to see him all the way out there, see a guy like that all the way out in the Midwest, because it's not a road often taken to go from.
Well, you left a hell of a legacy, Brad.
University. Yeah, I really
mastered the eye test and
it paved the way. It's glad to know I'm inspiring the younger generation.
Let's loop all this into one, because I think this is a good place to start with the smoke. Heisman Mendoza is in full swing. First of all, shout out to whoever made that Indiana football graphic where like with the like vote for Fernando and here's how you do it, and they put the tweets in the graphic and they put my tweet in the graphic, and that was like holy shit, one of the cool, like just like as somebody who spends way too much time on Twitter and too much time, looking at a lot of this stuff, to see that and be like looking at the graphic and like Dov Kleiman pops up in the top left. I'm like, Dov Kleiman. Then I look down, I'm like, holy shit, that's me. Like ran around the room. I did a somersault onto the couch behind me. Like it popped me. So shout out to whoever did that.
Yeah, that's awesome. You deserve it too. You've been one of the biggest advocates for IU football the past 2 years, and couldn't think of anyone more deserving to have their tweet in IU official IU football graphic.
I'm not doing anything special. I'm just saying what my eyes are seeing, Brad. Maybe taking after the master of the eye test a little bit.
If I tweeted more, maybe I'd probably be in a lot more graphics.
I tell you to tweet more. You just don't want to. Roger R is asking, does Haynes pitch a shutout this Friday night? We'll get to it. We will get to it.
Maybe. I thought the same thing about Wisconsin, but they might throw like a little halfback pass on us. Expect the trick plays, all right? Like it's gonna happen.
Outside of the graphic, just listening to the bye week really provided an opportunity for the rest of the country to meet Fernando, and there was no better example than his appearance on the what's the triple option podcast, Urban Meyer and Rob Stone, I think, and Mark Ingram, and they asked Fernando to describe the Penn State play to Omar Cooper, and he was like, the way he broke it down and seeing two Joker and talking about the hips turning and beating the boundary defender.
When he brought up the hips, that's when Urban was like, what?
Urban Meyer was drooling on the other side of it. He was like, this is incredible shit. Like, are you listening to this? And it's just like, of course, like the Jets are going to not take him, right? Because they're idiots, and Cleveland's going to pass on him because they think they're the other guy. And I hope he ends up in LA, because that would be incredible. But yeah, listening. And then Fernando goes on the Heisman Trophy podcast as well. You get the whole groundswell of voting, and people are kind of now realizing you can vote every day and all that stuff. He's top 5 in Golden Arm. He's top 3 in Maxwell Award. He's racking up the accolades, and he is cementing himself as the leader in the Heisman race. And right now he's the only person minus money. The number 2 favorite is Jeremiah Love. He's at plus 375. He was plus 4,000 before last week, which is insane movement. And Jeremiah Love, and I tweeted this, and I
wish
knew
I threw 1,000 on it. Honestly, I wish I threw more money on it.
Right, dude, that's crazy jump. But the fact that he was able to jump Julian Sayin after Notre Dame killed Syracuse. His first carry was 21-0 Notre Dame before he touched the ball, and yeah, he had a great game. But it's like Julian Sain had to be like average at best in the eyes of the public to just maintain that spot. Like he was the second favorite by a wide margin. And now you go into this week and Jeremiah Love is overtaking him. And that's pretty significant. But both of them are chasing Fernando Mendoza. And I know it's going to be cold this weekend against Purdue, but they're going to throw the football. Like I listened to Kurt Cignetti's press conference. So it's like, this is just going to be another opportunity for Fernando to cement himself as Heisman Mendoza. But like to be completely honest, like barring catastrophe, it's Fernando's award.
Did you mention the Maxwell Award finalist?
Yeah, he's top 3 in Maxwell.
Yeah, that's a big award. That's big time. And we called it so early, just crazy. I use up 5-0, by the way, on K-State. Take Conway, cross, tween, pull up, splick. If Conway's hitting that shot, I mean, this team, man, it feels like they play up to teams.
Well, I mean, we can kind of mix in basketball as it flows. No, and obviously, like if you ever get confused at what Brad's talking about, he's watching the basketball game, but they openly acknowledged that energy was one of the biggest reasons why they struggled in a lot of these games, and it's like, yeah, it makes sense when you're used to 15 to 17,000 people screaming their head off, and there is 8, and you're in a tougher game than you want. It's I don't know. I watch a lot of fighting, Brad, and people always talk about if you find yourself in a fight that you thought you were going to win, but you end up find yourself down. It's a lot harder to mentally overcome that than if you were like an underdog going into it. So, I'm excited to watch the highlights from this one, but somebody has to drive the bus.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good time to talk about recruiting stuff because it's going to get us. I don't want to say negative, but we'll talk about a couple of the decommits and kind of the reasons. And I feel like this will be a good time where it gets washed into the start of the basketball game. But there was a lot of recruiting movement in the last couple of weeks. Indiana flipped Ben Novak, an offensive lineman from Andreen, who's playing in a state championship game this weekend in Indiana on Saturday. And they also flipped DeMonte Timms, a safety from Sefner, Florida, who was committed to Colorado. Defensive back committed to Colorado tells you everything you need to know, right? You look at who defensive backs that Colorado targets. Obviously Deion Sanders is Deion Sanders. So when that guy recruits a defensive back,
I trust his DBI for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I trust the fact that regardless of his DBI, I would imagine that because of who he is, it's way easier to be elite at that position and be attracted to that type of coaching, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like elite DBs want to play for an elite DB. Like that would just make sense to me.
Yeah.
But our defensive backs coaches are elite. Ola Adams, Rod Ojong are elite. Ola Adams, obviously this is his room. But yeah, those two guys obviously are dogs. But then you look at the flip side of it. We had 3 decommits: Cash Herrera, the quarterback, Walker Bryson, a wide receiver from Georgia, and LaRon Dews, a safety from Florida. It was presented as these were mutual. If you want to read the tea leaves and look, they brought in LeVar Keys as a wide receiver. They brought in DeMonte Timms as a safety. 2 guys in those position rooms come in, 2 guys in those position rooms leave. Make of that what you will. I don't know. I don't have any information, right? I don't know why these things happen. I'm just going to say when anybody decommits from your football team, it sucks, right? Because you want kids to come in, and then when these guys commit, you kind of get a certain I don't want to say an attachment to them, but it's like they become sort of like Indiana guys, and then when those guys don't end up making it to the class for whatever reason that is, it's always disappointing. So you always want to wish the best for those guys, and it's just the overwhelming thought from people on the outside on social media is that Indiana pushed these guys out, and we don't know if that's the case or not. But the fact that that's just like floating around the ether is like, it sucks. I don't like that notion, and you hope that's not the case.
It's a business, you know.
I mean, it is a business.
Yeah, I know, and it's all about making sure there's a way of going about it in a good way, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's just different ways of treating people, and from what I've heard, Indiana is very good about that type of stuff.
Exactly, which is why that narrative that almost seems negative is kind of shocking that it popped up, because from everything we've heard from people on the inside, like not like people from Indiana, but like recruiting insiders and things like that. Like this is a very positive environment, especially with the way they interact with recruits.
Yeah, and I think it's an oversimplification that IU pushed them out. Like, yeah, it's mutual in the sense that IU was like, hey, I don't think we have a spot for you anymore. What are you thinking? You know, what's your temp check at? You know, and because Indiana, unfortunately, is in a much different spot than when they were going into this recruiting cycle, right? They have the access to the higher level recruits if they need them. They're going to be able to get their pick of the litter in the transfer portal as that comes around this offseason. Hence a Cash Herrera decommit with no real news in regards to who are they going to go after next from that freshman class to make it seem like they're not bringing in anyone. You got to remember, let's break down that quarterback room real quick. Next year, here's how it's going to look like. It's going to look like redshirt freshman Jacob Bell, redshirt freshman Tyler Cherry, who's coming back onto the team after he was off the team this year.
Student coaching role.
Didn't use a year of eligibility because of that loophole. Comes back as a third-year redshirt freshman. You have redshirt sophomore Alberto Mendoza. Grant Wilson leaves for lack of eligibility. And then redshirt senior Fernando Mendoza is still on the table. I'm just going to put that out there.
Redshirt senior Fernando Mendoza is not on the table. Redshirt senior Fernando Mendoza is going to be a top 10 pick in the draft, regardless of if the evaluators at the top of the crop get it right.
We've had this conversation, so I'm not going to do it again. But, you know, it's like, what if we threw $8 million at him? You know?
The only reason I don't want to say the only reason, but like
this is straight just from my ass. I don't think this is going to happen.
No, I'm aware, but I'm saying like he comes back to do one of two things: one, improve his draft stock, and two, chase a championship. And so if he's coming back, that means something. Like that means we didn't accomplish our goal this year. So
right,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
Let's go through this year first and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
But no, I think he should be like the guys who can go. It's football. Like, yeah, you can get paid now, but if you can get paid there, go get paid there because it's the second contract there where you can.
So really Cherry, Bell, Burt, and then like we've always been saying all offseason, like that transfer quarterback that they're probably going to bring in to compete with Burt for the starting job. And that could be Sam Levitt. That could be anyone really across the country that they can bring in and be the potential starting quarterback for the Indiana Hoosiers next year, which is really exciting. So I think that Cash Herrera spot just opens up a spot to where they like Cherry, they like Bell. Obviously, they like Burt.
Don't forget about Maverick Geske, Brad.
You know how I feel about walk-ons, man. Until you get on the field, I don't talk about you. I'm sorry. I only talk about Utzinger, Turvey, and not even Jack Greer. I really
what about two-time Scout Team Player of the Week, Kyler Kropp?
No, but we will talk about Clay Connor.
Yeah. I want to point out some positives in the class. Not that stars matter because they don't, but Scarface Hugan, Jaden Williams received their 4th stars, which is awesome. You like recognition for those guys.
They must
Jacob Savage
some calls from the evaluators. They must have been answering their texts.
I think it's I called it the Bloomington bump when I responded to Hoosier Review, and he told me I need to copyright that. But I think it's the fact that they look like idiots for saying Indiana didn't have a top 50 talent-wise roster coming into this season, and they're going to be the number 2 team in the college football playoff rankings going into the championship weekend.
It basically means that you just can't be the number 50th most talented team in the country and be number 2 at the same time. So clearly
somebody messed up, and it wasn't Indiana.
And it wasn't the 11-0 Hoosiers. It wasn't them, all right, because they're 11-0, should be ranked 2, are ranked 2.
Exactly.
Arguably 3, still same argument applies, right? Arguably 1 to 3, same argument applies, right? Yeah.
I want to get the name of this award.
Which award is it?
Jacob Savage was named the number 1 player in the state of Kentucky. That is the Paul Ornung Award. Number 1 player.
Really? They give that to
they give it to the number 1 player in Kentucky.
Ornung is also, or maybe it used to be a college award as well. pretty sure.
Blake Smythe was named, I think that's Indiana because he's an Indiana kid, Mid-State Player of the Year. Henry Olinger is a top 3 athlete in the class officially. And LeVar Keys was named first team all conference. That's just some of what I picked up on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the class. They're going to bring in another fun, big transfer portal class this offseason. So I'm just really excited for that. Mixed in with a lot of young, up-and-coming guys that have been on this team for a while, it's going to make for a really interesting offseason where I think a lot of jobs are going to be available in terms of starting roles. Linebacker's pretty set. If Bones Jones leaves for the league, it becomes a little less set. Could have people breaking out and finding that role. But D-line looks to be wide open going into this offseason.
There are so many like kids that are going to be redshirt freshmen next year that are just straight dogs that are going to be unleashed. Either I don't know if they'll be ready for playoff season. I would be a little surprised if at least one of them wasn't. And I'm not saying I'm saying like one of those freshmen developed at a rate where they can be effective at the end of a season, right? That's kind of when you see these guys start to mature after spending 6 to 8 months in a college weight room.
Yeah.
But one quick note to kind of wrap up the recruiting talk before we move on. I think it's significant that Indiana and Purdue are playing on Black Friday. And the fact is that I think, unless it was just a chunk of games that I saw, a lot of those Indiana state championships are being played on Saturday. And so Indiana and Purdue both can go scout those games. Or at least have representation at those games.
You know, sometimes teamwork makes the dream work. Hey, we want to recruit the state title game weekend. You want to scout the state title game weekend? Let's collaborate here. Let's play on Black Friday every year. How about that?
And there's one Indiana school that will not be able to recruit the state because I think it's a road game they're playing. I think they're out at Stanford this weekend. I don't want to step on the slate. Yeah, they are. Late game at Stanford. So Notre Dame, unless they leave staffers behind, which is entirely possible, will not be scouting those games live at least.
That's good. Notre Dame recruits pretty nationally, though.
Yeah, I was about to say Notre Dame doesn't have any problems recruiting, so I doubt that's really an issue.
I don't think they give a flying fuck about this.
And then a couple of the Masai Mickens was somebody who had released his top 3. I think it was like Indiana, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss. He then
choose any of those.
No, he then Oklahoma flipped a 4-star kid. Ole Miss, who knows what Lane Kiffin's doing, and Indiana just decided to go in a different direction. He ended up going to Virginia Tech. And then Matt Sieg.
He had one of those names where it's just like, you know, a big name guy. I think that's a big indicator, like Jaja Boyd. You know, like that guy's gonna be a stud. LeBron.
So the
Messiah Mickens. He's gonna be a hell of a running back. Let me tell you. Name alone.
Yeah, he's going to be playing for James Franklin. And then the last kind of really intriguing Penn State prospect that Indiana had been connected to is Matt Sieg. He officially announced his commitment date will be signing day December 3rd. He's got 5 schools on his list. It was Indiana, Notre Dame, Pitt, Penn State, and Virginia Tech. I think it's significant that he set the date next week and not immediately. You saw Mickens go to Virginia Tech and kind of commit immediately. So I think that bodes well for Indiana. We'll see where they stand. Obviously, Franklin's still in it. He committed to Penn State. He's a Pittsburgh kid, so you kind of don't know where his head's at. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. December 3rd is the date for him. Yeah, we'll see. It'd be a cool guy to add to this class. Obviously, you look at where the top-rated guys in this class are, and they're all on the defensive side of the ball, and we know the demons they have on that defensive coaching staff. So keep giving them guys to develop, see what happens.
I like how you call coaches demons. I think that's really funny.
I was calling super sidebar Indiana. The Red Sox made a trade with the Cardinals today, and the Cardinals president of baseball operations is Chaim Bloom. And as soon as I saw that, my heart dropped. I was like, who do you steal from us? It was Richard Fitz and Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark's a tall, flame-throwing lefty, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's not relevant to any of this. You know what is relevant though, Brad? Carter Smith. He is an Outland Trophy semifinalist. That's for the best. They call it the best interior offensive lineman, but it's for the best offensive lineman. I'm not sure why interior is there. I'm guessing because they want to exclude people who officially line up on the line. So I guess like inline tight ends maybe. I'm not sure, but it's an offensive line award. Carter Smith obviously has been one of the best offensive linemen in the country this year. No surprises there. Shout out to Carter Smith.
Shout out Carter Smith. Hope he wins that award.
He should win that award. He has been by far the best offensive lineman in the country.
Yeah, he's been nails this year.
D'Angelo Pons is the highest graded cornerback in the Big Ten, according to Pro Football Focus. They also used him to sell a bunch of subscriptions. So, Angelo, I hope you guys saw a piece of that.
Hopefully.
But that's sick. Shout out to D'Lo. And also shout out to D'Lo. I have it written down on the back page because I went in chronological order. But and Angelo, shout out to you guys, too. And shout out to the whole family and shout out to the Bensons. But the Ponses, the Bensons, D'Angelo bought 60 turkeys and meals for the Bloomington Boys and Girls Club, and they handed those out yesterday. And it's just like stuff like that warms your heart when you have the ability to give back and you have the ability to affect somebody else's life in a positive way, and you then take the opportunity to do it. Like D'Angelo Pons could have been sitting on a beach, you know what I mean? Like I guess he couldn't because they had practice this week, but like to go straight from practice to then hand out meals and make somebody's life better. It's like the Bensons to be involved and just for that cause. It's just that stuff warms your heart. So shout out to those guys, and that's what you like to see. That's what being a Hoosier is all about. Big time.
Hoops are up 20-4. I looked up and they're just annihilating Kansas State right now. It's pretty sick. Pretty awesome. Kansas State hasn't made a bucket in 6 minutes of game.
They're supposed to be the best offensive team in the country, no?
They have the leading scorer in the country.
They're the best 3-point shooting team in the country. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what I heard today.
Interesting. We're really good defending the three. So
DeVries presser, and we'll sidebar. We'll get back to football in a second. Listening to DeVries talk, like he's just a calm guy. Like he's not worried about the recent shooting struggles. Like they asked him what he thought about Lamar Wilkerson's struggles, and he was like, he should keep shooting. Like he's a great shooter, and like go saying no money from PFF. Scam, man, scam. It's a scam. There are ethical companies out there that don't want to use other people's name, image, and likeness to make money for themselves and not give it to them. And there are companies that scam people. But at least they're calling him number one. At least they're properly recognizing him as the best cornerback in the Big Ten. We'll take that, right?
Yeah, they're the good guys.
But yeah, listening to DeVries talk, it's calming. That guy's he's sharp and he gets it, and he understands that. Like he's a calming voice in a very chaotic, at a very chaotic time for Indiana basketball. So it's nice to listen to DeVries.
Someone's got to temper the storm. He's doing a great job. He's
great at it. Dude doesn't like it. It seems like he's unaffected by the pressure, and there's a lot of it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I think he's the long-term solution, but we'll see. That's obviously too early to say, but I like what I see. Get some more talent into that locker room and see what can happen.
Speaking of talent, Aiden Fisher, Butkus Award finalist. We got a very rare midweek tweet from Brian Haynes, just as the number 4, but obviously kind of tells you how big of a deal that they view that in that room. Just shout out to Aiden Fisher, man. Like that dude is an awesome football player who deserves every bit of recognition coming his way. And yeah, it's when you watch that guy play, it's like, it has to be one of the best linebackers in college football. Who's better than that guy? And
and I think it deserves a special shout out, just considering like elephant in the room, like Jacob Rodriguez is probably going to run away with that award at Texas Tech. He's having a phenomenal year. But Aiden Fisher, he may not have the turnovers that Jacob Rodriguez has that sets him apart, right? But he's the main piece on what is 1A, 1B best defense in the country, right next to Ohio State. And he's the leader, the captain of this team for the past 2 years. A big reason for this turnaround, and definitely deserves all the flowers. I think, he might not win this award, but first-team All-American seems very likely for him. So congratulations to Aiden Fisher on a hell of a season, which is not over yet. And he'll be the first to correct me on that too.
Oh, I'm realizing now as I'm looking at the chat, Roger R's got to be John. It's got the blue J or the blue J.
Got it.
I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
Was.
But shout out to Aiden Fisher. Yeah, Buckus Award finalist, and yeah, one of the best pure linebackers in the entire sport. Something that was ridiculous this week. I don't know if you caught any of it, Brad. Oh yeah, I was right. Let's fucking go. I was right. I don't know if you saw the Nebraska volleyball journalists get on those Indiana fans for being fans of a college team. So utterly ridiculous.
What are we doing out here? You know?
Brutal. We'll move on. Mike Petchick has been posting like beat Purdue pictures every single day leading up to the bucket game. And in his picture today, in the background of his picture, and Indiana Edits pointed that out. Shout out to Indiana Edits. Was good old JR, Jim Ross. If you're a wrestling fan of any sort, and I'm talking about like professional wrestling, not like college wrestling, then you know who Jim Ross is. And so like the fact that he was like in Indiana Hoosiers credentials at that game was shocking to me. 1, 2, hilarious, and just like a really cool moment. So you never know who's gonna be popping up at these games.
That's great. Nick Dorn. Oh man. All right. I'm back.
You know who else is in Assembly Hall right now, Brad? Which Chicagoan?
Chicagoan.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know this person personally?
No. Well, if you did, it would
do I know who they are? How confident are you that I know who they are?
I'm pretty confident you know who this is.
Okay. Native Chicagoan?
No. Athlete.
Okay.
So he's out of season, obviously.
Pete Crow Armstrong?
No, but you're close. It was Colson Montgomery. He's in Assembly Hall in a Heisman Doza shirt and one of those like upside down Indiana things. Inside the hall tweeted out the picture, and then Josh Paz came over the top with it and actually clarified in a tweet and said that Montgomery was committed to Mercer in 2019 but got drafted by the White Sox, ended up going to the league. So he's there watching the Hoosiers.
I don't understand the connection.
He was committed to Indiana.
Oh, I thought you said he was committed to Mercer. Oh, the coach.
Yeah,
okay. I gotcha. When you said Mercer, I was like, the Bears and from Macon, Georgia? Are you serious?
I mean, they're probably filthy at baseball, honestly.
Yeah, they are. They usually make the tournament.
Nick Roadcap had the players of the week for the last 2 weeks from Penn State. It was Charlie Becker on offense, Aiden Fisher on defense. It was Utzinger on special teams, and the scout team was Kyler Garcia, Blake Thierry, and Kyler Kropp. And for the Wisconsin game, offense was Mendoza, defense was Daly, special teams was Langston, and scout team was Tyrone Burris, Jacob Bell, and Kyler Kropp again.
Love seeing Blake Thierry, Kyler Garcia. Big fan.
Especially like mimicking Penn State means they were doing some good work.
Those are guys that could probably play next year. But it's funny, like Thierry is just not the same type of athlete that like a Nowakowski or a Horton is. They're just different types of athletes. I'm not saying one's better than the other. It'll be interesting to see how that tight end position continues to progress with Indiana over the course of time.
Well, Thierry, wrestler, so he's got elite hand placement, and track, so he's a good athlete. I think it's going to be very exciting to watch that kid play tight end in the coming years.
Yeah, because I've been wait till we have AJ Barner types playing that tight end role. Like this team can take it to the next level. You know, you don't have to rely on a 6'1" H-back to play tight end. Not that there's anything wrong with Riley Nowakowski, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to have a 6'6" basketball body type tight end. You know, your Colston Lovelands, your AJ Barners, your TJ Hawkinsons, you know, those types of athletes.
You mean your first round, your no-brainer first round pick league guys? Yeah, it's awesome to have those guys on your
offense. And they will get there eventually. You know, it's exciting, and I think Blake Thierry could be one of those guys down the line if he sticks with the program. You know, crossing my legs on the couch now. I don't know if anyone saw that, but
do you? Let's save the coaching hires discussion for after the before the slate.
Okay.
In the vote for Heisman Doza video I tweeted today, you can see me and Brad. So if you want a little Easter egg hunt, you can go try and find us. We're actually, funny enough, standing next to Angelo.
That's great.
So you can go find all three of us in that. Once again, shout out to the Ponzes, the Bensons for giving out the turkeys at the Boys and Girls Club. Just an awesome thing to do. Love seeing that during holiday times. Ducks versus them, week 7. I brought it back up this week, watching Dan Lanning talk about like Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush not showing up for USC in that game, and just like made me think like people were trying to fight me on this. Like
Nate Sudfeld's not walking through that door.
He was 100% talking the same way during the Indiana game that he talks during every football game he's ever coached his entire life. I promise you that footage is gold, and it exists somewhere if they didn't burn it. And so if somebody, oh my God, I would do anything to see that footage. It'd be incredible because they end up losing in the end. So, and they posted his like post game talk, and so like everybody was like, "Oh, you didn't even look at the next week because the post game was in the next week." And I was like, "Well, I wasn't looking for a post game. I was looking for when he actually thought he could win, because that's the funnier stuff." But,
yeah,
I don't know. I had fun. It would have been psycho though. That would have been good stuff. There was a Georgia fan that pointed out that Indiana plays Purdue on rivalry weekend. I do have to admit the SEC has done really well engagement baiting Indiana fans. And then a super sidebar on that. I saw Peter Burns in a TV segment, and that kind of just blew my mind. I can't believe they're putting that guy on TV. I'm glad I don't watch ESPN. What do you think about the Georgia fans, Brad? Coming off 3 days ago, Georgia played Charlotte, and they're upset Indiana plays Purdue this weekend.
Go Dogs, sick 'em. But yeah, shout out my boy George. He's a big Georgia fan, ironically. Because they let him punt at their pro day. So he's Georgia. He's a UConn punter, and they let Georgia let him punt at their pro day, which is
that's a very nice move.
Yeah,
a very nice move.
Classy. I mean, yeah, like you said, SEC fans are very good at engagement farming the Indiana fans, and they fall for it every time. The Indiana fans, it's I
can't help myself.
Not falling for it. Stop it. But it's like, because like they know damn well, like who else are we gonna play rivalry weekend?
Yeah, right.
Guess we could start something with Penn State, I guess, but like we already beat them, so I guess we just delay the Omar Cooper catch to later in the year.
Yeah. I don't know. I have some I think it's a Notre Dame fan trying to tell me that it's actually good if you're trying to win the Heisman to go down in the rankings.
No. What?
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's talk about Purdue. Do you have a history lesson for us, Brad?
What? That's why Toby Gerhart didn't win the Heisman's, because they lost too many games. They lost 4 games, and Toby Gerhart had the best season of anyone in the country that year, but since they were 8-4, he couldn't win it. You remember that whole debate?
Yeah, kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's not really. Like, I think your team should win. If you want to win the Heisman, it's an important thing. I think you got to win at least 9 games to win the Heisman, in my opinion. But, Travis Hunter didn't have to do that. But I guess Toby Gerhart didn't get the same treatment.
Toby Gerhart wasn't also playing linebacker.
He could have, though. He's playing outfield. He was playing left field for Stanford at the time.
Pac-12 memory of the week.
Yeah, Toby Gerhart in left field. Pac-12 memory of the week. Yeah, Purdue history lesson.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got the Purdue Boilermakers out of where are they from? Bumfuck, Indiana.
West Lafayette, where the sun never shines.
Oh yeah, of course.
We say the name of the town where they're from, and unlike some schools in this conference who are afraid to. Also, sidebar before you start again, all the Ohio State fans who try to replace all the M's this week but mess it up.
Oh yeah,
so funny.
They missed the spot.
Well, I think one of the state senators had November, but he had the N X out. So it's November with the M in there anyway. It's good stuff. Sorry.
No, it's good. I like that. Let's throw it back to 1966. Yeah?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out if.
Do you know when the bucket was created, Brad?
No, I don't. When was it?
1925 was the first year they played for it because it is the 100th year of the bucket game.
Wow, that's amazing.
How does that not make the history lesson?
I had some things come up today. But yeah, things happen, life.
Hey, life happens.
Sometimes. But yeah, throwback to 1966 or 66 season, 1967, January 1st, Purdue plays USC in the Rose Bowl. First ever Rose Bowl win for the Purdue Boilermakers, headed by quarterback Bob Greasy, who was an All-American that year. Yeah. They've had some really good quarterbacks over the years at Purdue.
I know Breeze. You didn't ask for alumni. I couldn't tell you who went there, to be honest.
I don't give a fuck. They've sent a bunch of astronauts there and all that. I think Neil Armstrong went there.
I got a sidebar. I have a buddy who works for
I think either Buzz Aldrin or Neil Armstrong went there. I forget which one.
I think it's GE or LG, one of those two, and they have a plant in West Lafayette. And he said when all the international guys fly there, they all talk shit about West Lafayette and how much they hate it.
So I bring up that Rose Bowl win because that is actually their only Rose Bowl win, which is, hey, we haven't won a Rose Bowl ever.
That's listen, dude. I'm not gonna disparage a Rose Bowl win.
Rose Bowl is a Rose Bowl, all right. But that is their only Rose Bowl win back in 1967, headed by Jack Mullen.
I mean, we do have a 1945 national title. Don't forget.
Never forget that ever. What was Purdue doing in 1945? They went 7-3. All right, that's not too bad actually. Yeah, then we'll throw it up to 1997. How about that? You like that?
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
1997. They hired Joe Tiller as head coach. And basically after years of just nothing, no bowl wins since 1980 at this point. That's 17 years. His first year, they go on to win the Alamo Bowl. He starts off with a bang right away, 9-3. They go to the Rose Bowl with Drew Brees in 2000 under Joe Tiller.
You're getting Gus Grissom in the chat, Brad.
Gus Grissom. Who's that?
I'll find out.
John, come on. All right. Joe Tiller.
American astronaut, Brad. Come on.
So they lost to the Washington Huskies with Drew Brees in 2000 in the Rose Bowl. That was their second Rose Bowl appearance and their first loss. So, not too bad. Can't really knock it. 1-1 in the Rose Bowl, better than us. Not too shabby. Joe Tiller remains the head coach up until, he starts off with 8 straight bowl appearances. And then kind of tapers off with 2 in the last 4 years. And then they eventually, part ways and go with Danny Hope. And then that doesn't work out. They go with Darryl Hazel. And that was even worse. I think Hazel had 9 wins in 4 years. Yeah, 9 wins in 4 years. That's tough. And then they go get Jeff Brom. Yeah. And they kind of bounce back a little bit. You got to remember the Rondale Moore team that upset Ohio State, 55-20. That was an insane game. No one saw that one coming either. To not only beat Ohio State, but to beat them like that, crazy. And yeah, now that go figure, he's killing it at Louisville right now. Hell of a coach.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Quotes,
and then they go,
in quotes. That's in quotes.
Killing it. And yeah, then he moves on to Louisville, because that's a step up. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Then they go with Ryan Walters.
That is in if that was 2 years later, I don't think he makes the move. if the Big Ten media contract is in, and maybe I have to check myself and somebody can stat correct me. But I think if it's like the same media contract we have now, he doesn't do that.
I agree. I actually do. Even though it's
actually kind of a wild move. Like he probably cost himself like think about where Purdue was. And I'm not saying like he left them in like a, you know what I mean? But like I don't know. Questionable. To go from the Big Ten to the ACC and then basically put the same team out there is.
It's his alma mater.
I get it. What's
like
important?
Quarterback there. He went to Trinity High School in Louisville. He's a Louisville native.
It's fair. That's what I'm just saying.
Cards till I die. Which I probably shouldn't say on an Indiana podcast, but damn, I really don't see Louisville as like a rivalry to us, to be honest. I really don't. I know they're 2 hours away, but I don't really.
It should be, but we haven't been. Listen,
I just don't.
Point of this.
I just don't. But anyway, yeah, they go with Ryan Walters. 5 wins in 2 years, including a 66-0 loss to Indiana in his last game, which we all remember from last year. And then they go on and hire Barry Odom. And he's off to he has doubled their win total from last year to this year. Holy smokes, they're getting off to a fast start. 2-9. How about that?
The boys are buzzing.
Remember when Purdue fans were like really excited about this year and thought they were like going to a bowl game? That was hilarious. That was fun.
Remember when they were like, we're beating Indiana this year and any of that? But like, it did no. It turns out that the dude who posted that video of their receivers not being able to catch a ball was probably right about their football team.
You can tell a lot from practice, let me tell you.
You can tell a lot from practice. What were your takeaways from looking at this Purdue team, Brad? Because I have some.
My takeaways?
My first takeaway is shout out to Devin. Is it Maccabi?
Well, I haven't set the table for the game yet, Keezer.
Okay. Okay.
So they're 2-9, but they have a chance to, what do you call it? Save the season. There's always this saying like UCLA can go 0-11, but as long as they beat USC, it's a success. That's kind of where Purdue's at in terms of where they are as a football program comparatively to Indiana. Right? Like as they can go 0-11, but as long as they beat the Indiana Hoosiers, that's a successful year. Right? Because they're probably going to knock us out of the title game. That's a win for them.
For
right?
sure.
Yeah. So that brings us to this Friday on November 28th, Black Friday. It's a blackout in West Lafayette in Ross-Ade Stadium.
It's a candy stripe. They're actually they announced it as a candy stripe, Brad. Do you think
blackout? But you're probably going to see a lot of red. It's kicking off at 7:30 Eastern time.
Brad, I'm pretty confident they announced it as a candy stripe.
Shut the fuck up. And then we got the number 2 Indiana Hoosiers going on the road to the Purdue Boilermakers at 2-9. So they're ranked 2, and the other team has 2 wins.
And that's 2 more than the number of points they scored last year.
Yeah. So it's a lot of 2s in this game. It's 2 teams, It's a story of 2.
It's going to be 22 degrees.
Yeah. There we go. We're cooking.
It's going to be a cold one
now. And, we got the Indiana Hoosiers taking on the Purdue Boilermakers. The spread's 28.5. And we got I don't even know what the total is because it probably should be 28.5 to be honest. If that's the spread, that should be the total. And we got Indiana taking on Purdue. I probably could have given a better history lesson, but let's be honest, Purdue kind of stinks, and I don't really like talking about their history. In terms of the matchup, Purdue does hold the series lead, 77-43.
Every team we play is going to hold the series lead, Brad. You know what the series lead is in Kurt Signetti versus Purdue? It's 1-0 with a 66-point differential.
Hey, we hold the lead against UCLA 2-0, so it's not the case.
I think we're also positive against Oregon, though.
I think we're even. I think we're 2-2. I could be wrong. But Purdue has won 3 of the last 4. They've won 5 of the last 7. But we did beat them 66-0 last year. The largest margin of victory, I think this is important, largest margin of victory ever in the series. Either way, what do you think it is?
It's probably 66-0 Indiana.
68-0 Purdue back in 18 whatever.
Yeesh.
So, with that in mind, I think we have a target for Signetti to hit this year. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
69. Can we get to 69? Nice. We get there. That'd be sick.
Listen, it's certainly possible. Where are we going next here, Brad?
We're gonna preview the game. It's a rivalry game. That's how I'm gonna start it off with, right? For me, Purdue's ass. They're bad. Probably the worst team we're gonna see all year.
Let me put some stats to that, Brad. Their quarterback, Ryan Brown, has 9 touchdowns. He also has 9 interceptions and 7 fumbles.
It's not bad. No.
7 fumbles?
It's horrible. Some Blaine Gabbert.
Actually, shockingly enough, Dante Moore has 7 fumbles too. Devin Maccabee, who I was mentioning before, the running back, he was a walk-on. He was their best running back by far. He was getting all their volume. He had to medically retire. So shout out to him. He was a hell of a player.
He was their best player.
He was their best player. They have 3 different guys they get the ball to. A guy named Antonio Harris is 54 carries. He leads them. 5.1 carries or yards per carry. Then they have 2 Malachis, Thomas and Singleton. Singleton's got 3 fumbles.
Singleton's a quarterback.
Malachi Singleton's the quarterback?
Yeah, he's a quarterback. He might be starting.
Oh, yeah, they play the 2 quarterback system. See, it's like I didn't even.
Yeah, he might be playing.
They also have Michael Jackson III as their leading receiver. Nitro Tuggle, the Georgia transfer.
Great name. Nitro Tuggle.
But 5 total touchdowns between those guys.
I wanted some Nitro Tuggle. No, he was the transfer from Georgia, if my memory is correct, actually. And
correct. He got dismissed from the team, and then he transferred.
His name is Nitro Tuggle. He got dismissed from Georgia?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's why he ended up at Purdue.
He must have done something really bad.
Kind of didn't make sense. Defensively, though, obviously they've been on the field a lot. Manny Powell was their leading tackler. He's got 103 total tackles. He leads the Big Ten. He's also got 5 sacks, 11 TFLs. Taj Rael, he's got 98 total tackles. That's 3rd in the Big Ten. Charles Correa has 91 total tackles. It's 7th in the Big Ten. He also has 7.5 tackles for loss. And then CJ Nunley has 5 sacks and 9 TFLs.
Yeah, what I did notice is that Purdue actually does have a decent pass rush in terms of their sack numbers individually.
They're just on the field a lot.
They have 2 guys that are very high up there. Yeah, but still sacks are sacks, right? It's not like they're high. Yeah, obviously they're going to be high in tackles because they don't get off the field. That's something we've talked about before. Like tackle, if you have a shit ton of tackles on your team, like if you have 2 guys top 5 in the conference in tackles, your defense is probably ass because they're on the field too much, right? What was I going to say next? But yeah, I think their pass rush is really good, and it's going to be something to look out for. I like Carter Smith. I like Khalil Benson in this matchup. I think they're going to be okay. But it's definitely something to consider, rivalry, right? Like these guys are going to be juiced up. I know the crowd might not be into it, but these Purdue players are going to be juiced up. We're at a point now where we're going to be getting everyone's best shot for the most part. Right, obviously
we'd be getting their best shot regardless.
Teams are going to quit, but
it's important. Purdue's got 24 sacks on the year. Indiana has 33. Purdue's got 62 tackles for loss. Indiana's got 93. Purdue's got 4 interceptions. Indiana's got 15. Purdue allows 30.5 points per game. Indiana allows 11.6. Purdue's point differential, Brad. Do you know what it is?
It's got to be negative. Per game, negative 17.
Yeah, it's negative 10.
Ooh.
Indiana's is plus 31. Like, yeah, this is going to be a rivalry game, but if Indiana doesn't stomp them, we've got serious problems.
No, I agree. But I'm just letting you know. Don't be surprised if this gets weird.
I think it could get weird because of the weather and because it's a rivalry game, but I think weird means like 33.
Like it's tied
7.
after the first quarter.
Yeah.
That's how I'm defining weird right now. Like it could be tied at the first quarter.
I don't see that happen. Well, I got keys to success, Brad, believe it or not.
The LeVar keys to success?
I guess we can, when he officially joins the team and starts like contributing on a weekly basis, we will change it from keys to keys. But until then, no.
Fair enough.
Number 1, secure Heisman Doza. Fernando's obviously he's the favorite. He's the only one with minus odds. Notre Dame's playing a very bad Stanford team on the road. Jeremiah Love's going to have a really good opportunity to stake his claim even further to that award. Have Fernando go out there, throw for 250 plus, couple touchdowns, just lock it down. Like he doesn't even have, he's played 2.5 quarters right out of there, but before the middle of the third, but have a really productive day. And like, we don't like I love the running backs. I love the offensive line. Like we don't need to run the ball into the end zone in the first couple quarters of this game. Like let's get Fernando a couple passing touchdowns. Let's lock up Heisman Doza and let's go into that Big Ten championship game confident that we don't have to worry about that game swaying the award.
So Fernando is at 35 total touchdowns right now. Think we can get to 40?
Yes. Before the Big Ten yeah, I think he can have 5. I really do.
And we talked about this earlier in the year about if we can get to 40 before the Big Ten championship game, he basically locks that in, and the odds are saying so right now.
Yeah, he's a lot.
He's not even have to get there.
He's considered a lock right now.
Yeah, I think Love is an interesting dark horse though in that conversation. The kid is unreal. If you watch number 4,
talent-wise, he's going to be a top 10 pick. Like that dude is ridiculous, and he like. If Jadarian Price is Notre Dame's running back instead of Jeremiah Love and they just don't have Love last year, I think that Indiana game is wildly different. I think you watch a lot of the plays that dude makes, and he's a game changer from the running back position. There are a decent amount of really good running backs, right? But there aren't a lot of guys that can affect the game the way he does.
Yeah, he's so versatile.
He's a really special player.
He can run in between the tackles. He can catch out of the backfield. He can run it outside. He's super dynamic, can do everything very well. Including
he can run you over, he can run away from you. Like he's as complete a running back as like he's every bit as good as any running back you want to compare him to. And you look at what Ashton Genty did last year, and he had the best rushing season of all time. He didn't win the award. So
yeah, he should have.
He's going to be the Doak Walker winner. He's going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, probably top 15 pick, and he's going to make a lot of money in his career. But he's not going to win the Heisman.
There's another running back that like Ahmed Hardy at Missouri. He deserves more notoriety, and I kind of hope he gets a New York invite. But it's probably going to be Pavia, Reed, Love, San, Mendoza.
Yeah, like Pavia deserves to be in the conversation, but he doesn't deserve to be the leader, right? Like I don't think like Sagan is falling out of the conversation in my opinion, but the odds still have him there.
If Pavia goes stupid dummy against Tennessee and they win, I think he's an interesting conversation for sure.
I just don't think any of those guys are like you talk about. Everybody is then going to go to like cool statistics are great. What are your Heisman moments? And nobody can top what Fernando has right now.
Exactly. And yeah,
he's got 3 of them.
Oregon, you get to the Penn State game, you get to even the Iowa game, right? Like doing all that stuff on the road too. Like it's going to be really hard narrative wise to beat out Mendoza for that Heisman.
Yeah, something catastrophic needs to happen for like he needs to have 2 games like Julian Sayin just had, where he throws for 180 yards and like a pick and no touchdowns, and it just looks lost to lose this award. Like he just goes out there and play. They just go out there and execute, and he's the Heisman. Key number 2: show the bye week positively impacted health. We already got confirmation from Signetti that Surratt's starting, that Kamara is starting. He said James Evans. Drew Evans will know more. That was yesterday. We haven't heard a thing. No news is good news in my opinion. We'll see what happens this weekend. I'm probably not expecting Drew Evans to be out there, but at least he's trending in the right direction.
Let's get Drew Evans healthy for the Ohio State game. How about
that?
And get Surratt some game reps before the Ohio State game as well. I think that's really important.
This seems counterintuitive to my first point, but key number 3 is going to be establish the run. Yes, I want Indiana to pass the ball a decent amount in this game, and I want Fernando to throw 3, 4, 5 touchdowns.
Run the ball.
It's 22 degrees out. Smash mouth football and leaning on this Purdue team and then putting the ball in the end zone over and over again is going to take not only the fans out of the game, but the players out of the game early. And so, like, I listen, if Fernando has like 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, or like 180 yards and 5 touchdowns, right? And we just run the ball between the 20s, I'm cool with it.
I'm guaranteeing a Kobe Martin touchdown in this game.
I love it.
Hoosier ball.
Key number 4, dominate the defensive line of scrimmage. Like I just said, it's gonna be fucking cold. Like, if you start dominating the defensive line of scrimmage and making it uncomfortable for Purdue's offensive linemen to fire off the football, like, they're gonna wilt.
I agree. Yeah, we're gonna make it quit like they did last year. But I'm telling you, that first half, like, they're gonna come out fighting for sure.
Exactly. And then key number 5 is that remember, regardless of the atmosphere, that Purdue is not on their level, and just play Indiana football. Like, they don't need to do anything special to win this game. They don't need trick plays. They don't they just don't. They don't have to. They don't need fake punts. Although last year that was awesome, right? Like, they really just need to go out there and run vanilla offense, and they're going to win this game by 40. They can try and go chase down 68, but I think it's just more likely they execute 6-7 times and get those guys out of there.
6-7. All right.
Shit. It wasn't on purpose, but you gotta hit it anyway.
6-7.
The Hoosier commish video he posted of the guys visiting that elementary school. Oh my God. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out on Hoosier Commish's X page. But holy hell, it was that was scary. The Indiana football team walked in and all those kids were just screaming their heads off doing the 6-7.
Oh yeah.
It's a lost generation, I fear. Like, let's get those brains thinking a little bit.
Man, I didn't realize everyone was such big Khalil Benson fans. That's crazy. You know?
I can't believe Tate Conaway has had this much impact on the youth. I have to say, stunned at his reach. It's impressive.
What does Tate Conaway have to do with it? I'm confused. Bucket for Reed Daly.
No, sorry, not Tate Conaway. Who's the kid who went to Kansas? Talon Kinney? Is that his name?
Are you talking about Darren Peterson?
No. I'm talking about the high school recruit who went to Kansas, who has his own like water and is like pushing 6'7" as a Talon Kinney. I'm pretty sure his name is.
All right, I'll take your word for it. We can stat correct that later. You know,
Indiana was in on him. Yeah, it's Talon Kinney.
Okay.
You see, you're not about that 6'7" life like I am. You just don't know.
Fair enough. I keep moving my computer. I just need.
You know what you are about though, Brad? You are about giving a score prediction. Do you got one?
Yeah, I got one. I'm gonna give fucking just random number generator for Indiana 0 Purdue. Like kind of like, you know, fucking 67 to actually no, it won't even beat the record. So 69-0.
I don't think this is the year you chase the record, only because, well, I guess when is Purdue going to be this bad again? Probably next year.
Probably
right?
next year, yeah. In the year after.
I think it's more likely that they execute and then get out of there with good health than it is that they chase producing 7, you know what I'm saying, like 70 points. So yeah. I think it's going to be 48-0.
I like that.
But I don't think Purdue scores.
They might score, but yeah, random number generator to 0 is my score prediction. So,
random number generator to 0.
So to answer John's question, yeah, I think they're going to be shutting them out. Wisconsin got a tut on them. I mean, they held them to like 69 yards last year. 63 or something like that. Sub 70 total yards.
Well, they full blown quit in that game.
Yeah. It was funny because like I was seeing all the reactions to the Notre Dame Syracuse game, and funny Brandon Walker was like, he's like, Notre Dame gave Syracuse an ass beating that no one's ever seen before. I was like, I mean, we beat Purdue, we beat Illinois, we beat Nebraska, like all in the last 2 years, like that type of level of blowout where, it wasn't even like they dominated. Like Syracuse gave that game away. Notre Dame didn't even have the ball, and it was 21-0. They just handed it to them on a silver platter.
Punt return, touchdown, interception, return for a touchdown, like punt return touchdown or some stupid shit like that.
2 pick-sixes and a punt return touchdown.
Yeah. And then Jeremiah Love took his first carry for 8 carries for 170-something and 3 touchdowns. They were leading by 21 when he first touched the ball, and the entire country boosted his Heisman odds from plus 4,000 to plus 375. What psyop are we living in, Brad? That's insane. That's insane. He didn't have an impact on the game.
It mostly has to do with saying just kind of shit in the bed against whoever they played last week. I forget.
Rutgers.
There we go. Shiano, man.
Yeah.
He's in the nightmares, that guy.
Yeah, I'd like to say he had saying and help, but Ohio State whooped them. That's not what
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about the coaching carousel before we jump into the slate.
Yeah. No, I love that.
We got the second big-time hire of the cycle. Obviously, James Franklin went to Virginia Tech. Eric Morris, North Texas head coach. North Texas is on Indiana's 2026 non-conference schedule. He is taking the Oklahoma State job. He's going to coach out the rest of the season through the playoffs, apparently. I don't think that's the case. They all say that. That's never the case. You can't fucking take 2 jobs at the same time, especially in this age of recruiting when the portal's – he's going to be at Oklahoma State next week. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, that's insane. There's no way he stays there. But really good hire. He's had an explosive offense. He's developed quarterbacks. Like, he's got a true freshman running back who's got 19 touchdowns. It's tied for the lead in the nation. So, really intriguing hire. He moves up slightly level. He gets to stay in the same area, recruit the same area. And I like the hire for Oak State. What'd you think?
I liked it. I had some other names for him, but that's a hell of a hire. He's been doing a great job.
Wait, what names did you have for them?
GJ Kinney over at Texas State. He played at Tulsa as a legend there.
Texas State's really moving to the Pac-12 next year, though.
So, don't care. But it's just not the same pack. It's like, I guess if they're joining USC and UCLA, it'd be more appealing, but they're just not. They're joining Fresno State and Boise State and San Diego State and a bunch of other states, Utah State, Washington State, Oregon State.
Are you being statist right now?
Yeah, I am.
Dude, it's kind of funny when the Power 5 mode. I have a meme set up for that when the Pac-12 is finally like the Power 5's back, and it's just the dude putting his hand on the other guy's shoulder. It's like Power 5 is not back.
No, it's not. No. The winner of that conference will likely get that auto bid to the playoff.
Most likely.
Them or the American Athletic, I think, moving forward. I think that those two will probably set themselves apart to where unless there's an undefeated MAC or Sun Belt champion, like the winner of one of those two conferences is going to the playoff. It's almost like they should almost like play against each other, Army-Navy week for a play-in for that 12th spot. Just an idea. I think if we're talking expanding the field, I think that's a fun idea that a lot of people can get behind. What was I saying? What were we talking about?
Guys you like for North Texas. Guys you like for Oak State, sorry.
Eric Morris, and he did a great job. I remember when we called out them beating the piss out of Washington State. Washington State team that, by the way, went to Oxford, Mississippi, and almost took out Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss.
They hung around.
They were up in the fourth quarter. and the same week as the Oregon-Indiana game, if my memory's correct, which it usually is. And
Steel trap up there, Brad. That's that's what everybody says.
Except me. But great hire. Like, you get those types of results on the board with the facilities and the, what do you call it? The support system up in North Texas, and then upgrade that to an Oklahoma State, which, isn't that big of a jump, to be quite honest, but it's not like going to, Oklahoma or something.
Well, he's setting himself up in I guess on a bigger stage to be like an almost Signetti-esque riser in the coaching world.
Yeah, which sucks for Oklahoma State is that they're a lot like UCLA in the sense where it's just like the NIL just hasn't been there. The investment into football in this particular era.
Listen, Gundy's an awesome personality, but like, let's be honest, like he's not exactly somebody you want to give a whole bunch of cash to and say, we trust you with it. Like he's kind of proved over the last couple of years that he's not exactly like a great role model and somebody that you want to like representing your university. I don't know. Maybe somebody like
Eric I'm 40. I think you're hating on Mike Gundy a little bit.
I am just using what he put out in public to say that I'm not shocked an administration looked at that and went, maybe we don't hand this guy $20 million.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm not saying I'm not entertained by Mike Gundy or I didn't like watching his pressers and like that he doesn't care. That's great. Like he obviously cares.
Yeah.
Cares a lot.
Played quarterback at Oklahoma State, you know that?
Yeah, I just think like I don't know. It didn't seem like he adapted with the times, or else they would have been able to you'd like to think somebody like that with that personality and that history at that location would be able to galvanize support. The fact that he wasn't after an extended period of time is why they made a move.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I never disagree with the Mike Gundy firing. Never did. Sometimes, like I say, don't fire the coach that guaranteed 8 wins every year, which is kind of what Mike Gundy was. But like some things just played out. Like he was there for 20 years. Like he kind of just did his time, right? You know what I mean? Like sometimes time's up. But like James Franklin was only there for like 8 years. It's a big difference in terms of like how I feel about that. But I guess 8 years at one place is a long time too. So there's some points to that, especially in the modern world where
the more I dip my toe into the James Franklin Penn State thing and like their coaching search, the more I kind of realized that, at least according to their own fan base, that regardless of who the next guy is, it was almost like it couldn't have gone on like anybody but that guy had to go. And the reasons why, I guess we'll find out. It's a little bit weird that they're like leaning back into the Joe Paterno stuff and all that stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Penn State does. What other hires were there? I saw James Franklin for Virginia Tech. That's the only thing that we've heard.
I mean, if you, depending on which message board you're on or which account you're following, Lane Kiffin is coaching 3 different teams right now. He's currently the head coach at Ole Miss. He has, if you're on the LSU message boards, he's bought a house in Baton Rouge. And if you're on the Florida message boards, he's coming to Florida and he's been in constant communication with them. So that's been super interesting. The best theory I saw, and let me know what you think of this, Brad. If you're Lane Kiffin, right, and you're going to stay at Ole Miss, what gives you the best competitive advantage in the SEC? Is it you telling Florida and LSU immediately that you're out of their coaching search and that they can go move on to somebody else? Or is it, and this isn't, I have to go back and find whoever came up with this conspiracy theory on Twitter because this isn't my original idea. What if he's just stringing those 2 schools along until it's almost too late and essentially screws them out of finding somebody in 2026, for 2026?
The funniest thing about that is that that'd be so on brand for Lane Kiffin.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if it was anyone else, it'd be like, all right, that's kind of ridiculous. But like, sounds like something Lane would do, to be quite honest with you. That's a guy that was at Tennessee for a year and left for USC, like out of the blue. He's just, he was the kid prodigy. He got youngest head coach at the time when he took the Raiders job. Like, he's a prodigy head coach. And with that, he has a ton of experience for how young he is, right? that would just be so on brand for him to be doing that shit. And yeah, hearing that for the first time, it's like, damn, he might be staying at Ole Miss. Like, fuck.
I think he's staying, and here's why.
I think it's that or Florida. I don't really buy the LSU.
Well, I mean, at a certain, it's like you're gonna tell me you can like he's got the number 6 team in the country right now, or number 7 team in the country right now. Like you're telling me that if he had the same exact record and essentially like similar roster at Florida, that he'd be ranked higher, or at LSU he'd be ranked higher. Like no, I think he'd be ranked in the same spot. So I'm not sure that you can spin the narrative. Like, is it a little bit easier to recruit maybe to Florida or LSU? Probably traditionally, but like he's already built his system there. He's got his coaches in place. Like that whole system is built around the way he operates. I think the cost involved with moving that entire apparatus people seem to think that it would be significantly more football investment. I'm not sure that's the case.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely he stays given the leg up in recruiting he already has at Ole Miss.
Well, a lot of that just comes from the fact that he is Lane Kiffin.
Exactly.
Like
his selling point is less location, and it's more so like, here's how I'll utilize you in the offense, or here's how you know what I mean? And I'm not sure that I don't think he gets some sort of like major boost if he takes his operation and puts it in Baton Rouge. Unless the money is just significantly better, right? Like if Ole Miss isn't coming anywhere close to 90 million and LSU and Florida are both pushing those numbers, then like, yeah, I think for financial reasons, it would be dumb not to leave. But if the money's the same, why would you leave? If you want to. So I don't know if he wants to or not. But anything's on the table with that guy. But I do think it's kind of funny that all 3 teams, well, actually the team that's least convinced that he's going to be their coach next year is Ole Miss. And I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that sucks.
Tough place to be in with a rivalry game coming up this weekend.
Yeah, it's interesting just the way they've gone about it. Like he's going to make an announcement after the Egg Bowl. Like that's just weird. It makes me
believe he's staying.
But
that leads me to believe that they want to win the Egg Bowl, and then it'll be like pull off the coach's sweatshirt like Kiffin 2026. Like, you know, they were making hats or whatever. Like I could see that kind of being like a marketing ploy of like won the state, not going anywhere type of deal, like using it to build momentum. Because if you lose this game, then it's like
all right,
lost the Egg Bowl. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
There you go. You go to Gainesville. It's sure. Why not?
And then
should we do a brainstorm of like who's actually going to LSU and Florida at this point? Because like, who the fuck is out there?
That's what I'm saying, dude. I have no idea. Like, I was going to ask you, there was the clip of Brian Kelly's son running onto the field for senior day and being like, free my boy BK. Just an absurd clip.
Crazy.
But apparently he's being held up in court by the LSU lawyers with his contract, and he's unable to interview for other jobs. Not that I think people are dying to go hire Brian Kelly, but I'm gonna be honest, dude. I have no idea who ends up coaching Florida or LSU. It seems like Chesney is the guy for Penn State, especially given his Northeast connection, and like people in my mentions telling me that Penn State's the closest big time school to
UCLA, though. I will say, just talking to UCLA a little bit.
I think Arkansas is a dark horse in this because they've been much like Oak State in this search for longer, so they're a little bit further ahead in the process. Like, do they go and get a Grohl, like an Alex Grohlsch or a Summerall, and take him off the board? Do they try and go that guy? Do they try and do they hold off and just be like, we're okay with Brian Kelly and 8-4 every year? I could see that happening too. You know, they went and got Calipari when he was kind of on the downs. Like I could see that being a hire more so for Arkansas. So it's like, if you're Florida, right, you're LSU, and you're just you're like, we're going to be at the top of like, I think Summerall for LSU is like that has to happen.
So that kind of Florida almost makes so much sense. Too much sense in that as well for the same reason.
Recruiting, the more recruiting, the more NIL becomes a factor, and the more schools can, you know, make a push for these things. I think it ends up pushing the sport back into regional recruiting, where like Florida is going to have to really recruit their area. Like Indiana has to recruit their 3-hour rate. You know what I mean? Like And so having somebody with experience recruiting that area, like you have people at schools doing what you want to be doing in your location. Just go get that guy and give him more money. That seems to be the most logical thing to me. So I think gun to my head, I think Chesney ends up at Penn State. I think the USF guy ends up at Florida, and I think Summerall ends up at LSU.
I like that take.
And then I don't know who ends up going to those other schools. I think like JMU becomes a scary destination for somebody like Haynes or for Shanahan. But again, like I don't think those guys leave given where Indiana is as a team this year and where they'd end up being in the cycle and where Indiana's class
and how much money they'd be making at JMU.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something to be said as well.
So it'll be interesting to see who ends up taking those secondary jobs. But I really end up thinking these end up being regional hires. Because it's like, to your point, like who's on the board? Like, because it's like, yeah, if everybody wants to dream big, it's like, yeah, we'll go get Curt Cignetti. Look, he's making $11.3 million. It's like, okay, cool. We'll go get like Eric Morris, right? Like he just took a job. Like, are you going to go get, is it Harrison, right? At Memphis? Like, you're going to go try and poach him? Like, I don't know. Like, is he going to be better than what Grolish is doing? I don't think so. And he's regional.
What does UCLA do?
I don't know.
With James Franklin off the board, it's like, damn, they can't really make like a splashy hire.
It'd be that's I think that's probably another school that ends up. No, that's probably another school that ends up battling Arkansas for Brian Kelly. And it would be like, listen, it wouldn't be exciting, but like Brian Kelly would almost be perfect for UCLA too, because you just need somebody who's like been a college coach, who wants to be a college coach, who has an interest in building a program, and he's proven whether or not he's the best guy, he can build a program. And you don't hire Brian Kelly going, we're going to win the national title. You go, we're going to hire Brian Kelly, and then the guy after Brian Kelly is going to put us in a much better spot. But Brian Kelly is going to be able to build a base for this program for the next guy to be able to take it over.
I love that that's where like UCLA standards are at, where it's like,
you tell me who's taking that job.
Is he a college head coach?
Does he want to be a college head coach? That was the biggest problem with Chip Kelly, is he had no interest in being the head coach of a.
And then Deshaun Foster just wasn't a head coach. They're 0 for 2. They missed out on the last 2. And the guy before that wasn't even a college head coach before that as well. The last college head coach hire was Rick Neuheisel. And he was the OC. Before that, they hired Carl Durrell, who I couldn't tell you where he was at before. Couldn't tell you. They're in a tough spot.
The carousel is spinning. And obviously with one portal window and that being open, I think January 2nd is the date. Yeah, you got to get your ducks in a row quickly. The longer schools like Penn State wait, the longer schools like Arkansas wait, the longer a school like LSU or this is valuable time where you're letting kids on your roster sit there and contemplate whether or not they're going to hit the portal, and then you're not making yourself a viable destination for kids who hit the portal if you don't have your shit together by the time it opens. And it doesn't open again until next year. So good fucking luck.
Yeah. It really is. Without the spring window, it really makes things. That's why I didn't really like that the spring window closed. It makes things.
No, I didn't. I echoed Sig's sentiment with it, is that you changed the rules for James Franklin, who lost his backup quarterback, and for, I don't even know if anybody else lost a significant piece that was playing deep. Like, did Notre Dame lose anybody significant before the season ended? No. I don't think anybody else did. And if you want to call Bo Prabula significant because he was in a couple of packages, like, I get it, but I don't know. When Cignetti speaks about these things, especially like football process wise, it's like I'm inclined to take his opinion.
Yeah. 100%. Hoosiers let K-State come back a little bit, but now they're back up by 15 again. So
how much time's left on your stream?
18 minutes.
I'm like 35 seconds behind. It's okay.
Yeah, we're at 18 now. Now we're in 17.
I was gonna say we can run the slate for rivalry weekend if you want to just hang out for the rest of the game and kind of.
Yeah, I can hang out for the rest of the game.
If you want to just like get out of here and watch the game, that works too. You let me know where your head's at, Brad.
I'm cool with it.
Let's run the slate. I want to talk about rivalry weekend.
To be honest.
Huh?
Nothing. I don't have plans till later. So I'm good. Yeah, we can run through the slate. I just kind of like the top 25, like just run each top 25 game on the rivalry. That's an actual rivalry. I'm going to skip some of these aren't actual rivalries. So I'm going to skip them. But, Friday is hell of a slate. Holy smokes.
Friday is a good slate.
Friday is an insane slate. We're going to go Egg Bowl. Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Mississippi State needs to win this game to go be bowl eligible.
That is why they're waiting until after the game to announce Kiffin, because Ole Miss is gonna or Mississippi State's gonna swing big for this one. This game matters. That game matters. Rivalry game with stakes for both teams. It almost like double multiplies. I don't know if you saw what the CBS guys were doing. That I think it was Tom Fornelli was throwing throw the record books out because it's rivalry, and he just had I don't know how many different books he had, but I think they talked about every rivalry game. And he threw a book for every one. It's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
But when it's like when both teams have something to play for, I think it just multiplies that by 1,000. Like Purdue has nothing to play for except ending Indiana's season. Like Mississippi State and like Michigan, which like we'll get to that game. Like they're playing for something. I like Ole Miss though.
Roof.
Do you like the Bulldogs? The Brandon Walker cursed Bulldogs?
It's in Starkville, man. Cowbells all night. I like
Ole Miss.
I just it's more so
I like Ole Miss, and then I'm doubling down too. I think we're getting a Lane Kiffin. I'm here next year announcement on the field post game interview.
I like that. I'm so
or like extensions on my desk.
I would love the Bulldogs to play spoiler to that, but I think I'm going to take Ole Miss here. I think Ole Miss does. I've been saying it all year. I think Ole Miss has something special going on. I think they're going to go 11-1 and make the big dance, and they're going to be a team to watch in that playoff. It's going to be a loaded field like it was last year, where I think everyone's in it, right?
And there'll be better first round games because they'll be seated properly.
Yeah. All right, next game. Georgia at Georgia Tech. Friday. It's still Friday.
It would be so Georgia Tech for them to win this game. It'd be so funny.
They almost beat them in Athens last year. Remember that game? That game went into like quadruple overtime.
They have looked so bad the last few weeks.
I know. Pitt embarrassed them. By the way, Pitt.
I know you were trying to convince me. I was out, but listen, H2P, Pitt is it. Like they're frisky.
Pitt can win their conference, therefore making them eligible for the playoff.
That'd be insane. I think there's 5 or 6 teams still up for the.
They control their own destiny to make the playoff.
There's still 5 or 6 teams up for the ACC, right?
ACC is down to 3 teams: Virginia, Pitt, and SMU.
Interesting.
Yeah. Georgia Tech and Miami and Duke all need help to make it. I'm not sure. Obviously, only 2 of those 2 lost teams can need help to make it, but I don't know which ones, to be quite honest.
Some of the underdogs have to win. Give me Georgia Tech. I took them in the All Sports League draft, so I got to roll with them in this.
Yeah. The old me would be like, oh, they almost beat them last year on the road, so like this year they're going to get them at home, which could happen. But like, Georgia was kind of already in, where at this point they're not. Is Georgia in the SEC title game? I think they need some things to happen for them to get it.
I don't know SEC title game berths. I know Alabama can still make it.
Yeah, this doesn't affect it because they're not playing a conference game, obviously. But I don't think they've officially clinched. I think they need some things to happen. But like I said, it's just a rivalry game. So I'm taking the dogs here. I'm taking the dogs.
I'm also taking.
Sick.
I want to take Georgia.
I want to take Georgia.
I'm taking Georgia. I'm taking Georgia too. I just don't see Tech winning this game.
Yeah, I think they had their shot last year and they blew it. I think this year Georgia's going to take him a little more serious. One of my personal favorite rivalries of all time. Glad it's back because of the SEC. Texas A&M goes to Austin, undefeated, 3-ranked A&M is a 2.5-point favorite on the road against 16th ranked Texas. Who do you like here?
I love Texas in this game.
I love Texas too. I love them.
Love them.
I love Texas in this spot. It's not even the fact that I think Texas is better than A&M. Like, I actually don't think that. I just think
neutral field. I just think the rivalry game. That game's on Friday.
It's on Friday. Like it was historically back when they played in the Big 12. They always played on Friday. Same with the Egg Bowl. Yeah, I'm pumped. This game is going to be on fire.
Anytime
that place is going to be buzzing.
Yeah. Well, I've heard the Texas fans are fair weather and that they're apt to leave after the first quarter if it's not
for an A&M game. Not for an A&M game. I think they're going to get up for this one.
But I know I like Texas at home in a rivalry game, in a big win, in a Sark masterclass.
Really well. Have you seen his side by side with what do they do? Saiyan? He's like pretty equal numbers wise with Saiyan this year.
Guess who's not surprised, Brad? Me.
Yep.
Who said that they're probably going to end up pretty equal after watching them play in the first week, and everyone's going to say they sucked because they played two good defenses, and turns out they're not bad football players. Like, shocking.
They're fun. Yeah. Arch, I like the Longhorns here as well in the upset.
Indiana's pushed it to 20, Brad.
Yeah. Oh, nice 3. That's got to be Haggerty.
What do we got next?
It's Abdi Bashir. Apparently, he's second in the country in three-pointers made.
Dude, the number 1 shooting 3-point team in the country, K-State.
Connerway. Board, Sisley. Oh, foul. Okay. Back to the slate. Another one of my personal favorite rivalries. The Territory Cup. You know what this is?
I don't.
Arizona goes to Arizona State. 2 ranked teams in the CFP, by the way. The 20th ranked Arizona State Sun Devils host the 25th ranked Arizona Wildcats.
The Jeff Sims led Arizona Sun Devils?
This is still Friday slate, by the way. This is insane. What a slate. Possibly Sam Levitt's last game.
He's not playing.
He's not playing. My bad, Jeff Sims. Yeah, I like Fafita and the boys to get done here on the road.
That's great. Give me Kenny D and the guys defending home turf.
I like the Wildcats here. Like that. Bear down.
My dad was telling me a story of him and his buddies sliding down the Arizona State A by their stadium when he was in college.
Sick. Not a real rivalry, but this is a big game. Miami goes to Pitt. This is Saturday now. Because I'm skipping the
I
Big Ten.
have personal memories of this rivalry. I remember watching a freshman Kenny Pickett lead Pittsburgh to an upset victory over number 2 Miami.
I remember
that being a really cool moment for Ocean Township.
Yeah, so is this like a big rivalry, you think?
No.
Pitt and Miami? I mean, crazy history. They were both in the Big East way back.
Definitely not a big rivalry.
Okay. All right. Who do you like in this game? I'm going with Pitt. I think Pitt's on fire.
It would be so funny if Pitt won this game.
Good. This freshman quarterback for Pitt, I'm telling you, he's the real deal.
How did Miami beat Notre Dame, dude?
Week 1, glorified scrimmage.
I like Miami.
Week 1, glorified scrimmage. Sure. I'll accept that. I think Pitt
I can't
wins
have
this game
Pitt making the college football playoff. I just can't. I'm sorry.
Heichel. I like the quarterback, man. He's legit, man. Well, Well, he's coming back for 2 more years. So yeah, they're gonna stay good, Pitt. Don't worry about that. Who else we got? We got LSU, Oklahoma. Oh, that's weird. It's not even
A weird
right.
one.
Yeah. All right. Vandy at Tennessee. Tennessee is a 3.5-point favorite at home.
That's nuts.
Vanderbilt's ranked 14, so they're still in the hunt. They need this win.
I like Vandy in a disgusting football game that they end up getting too much credit for.
Yeah, I like Tennessee big. All right.
Ooh.
Hot take.
I like the Vols
by 20. I think they're going to put the hurt on.
Wow.
Yeah, I've liked Tennessee all year. I think they're very good, explosive offense, and I think their defense can do enough to make this not close. Virginia Tech at Virginia. Is James Franklin coaching this game? This will matter.
He's recruiting his ass off right now, but no, I don't think so. I don't think it matters if he's coaching or not. I like Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia take care of business, puts them in a very good spot to make the ACC title game because SMU goes to Cal. So there's probably going to be very likely
Cal just fired their head coach.
Just given Justin Wilcox, he did a great job for what resources he had, but very likely very likely considering Miami is favored over Pitt. So assuming that holds true, I think Pitt can win that game. Virginia SMU is the most likely ACC title game. So we can get SMU back in the playoff this year.
Hey, we
pull off of Clemson.
Again, we called it.
Yeah.
The best barometer for a playoff team is were you a playoff team last year?
That's why, remember when we did the little playoff preview? It's like they're on the list because they were in the playoff last year, right? The same thing for Tennessee. Even though we didn't fully buy into them like we probably should have with Joey Aguilar being as good as he is.
I feel like we did fine with them, dude. They're not.
Yeah, they're about top 25 ranked all year, but nothing too crazy. You know?
Yeah, they're back half of the top 25, probably ranked too highly.
All right, but we didn't pick Virginia Tech. We like Virginia here.
Yeah, we did pick it. We do.
Okay, we did. All right, and we like SMU over Cal.
Yes. He's going to hit the transfer portal.
Alabama at Auburn.
That kid's going to be available. You want to talk about him for a second?
What?
JKS?
Yeah, Saga Butele.
He's gonna hit the portal.
I don't think he is, but if he does, I know just the spot for him. That's okay. I've talked about guys that who they bring in, there's a good chance they can't beat out Burt. That's a guy that will give Burt a run for.
I'm not talking about it.
For sure.
That's
all I'm saying. I'm just saying run for his money. I didn't say anything too crazy there.
I didn't say he would come here.
Notre Dame at Stanford.
Is Andrew Luck playing for Stanford?
The Cardinal coming off a huge win over Cal last week for the Axe.
Notre Dame plays an absolute joke of a schedule. It doesn't mean they're not a good football team. They are. They're a very good football team. They're going to be a very formidable out. They definitely deserve to be a playoff team, and they can play with anybody in the country. But holy hell, this is people tried to give Indiana shit for their schedule last year. Notre Dame's playing Power 4 teams they're beating by fucking 70 on a weekly basis. Kind of nuts.
Yeah.
This will be another one.
I mean, in theory, it lines up well. Like we talked about before the year, they scheduled 10 Power 4 opponents. And then the others were Navy and Boise State, pretty upper echelon group of 5 teams. So in theory, it's pretty equal.
Fine, but it's all an ACC schedule, and the ACC's not good.
As a whole, it's not as strong as a Big Ten or an SEC schedule. It's still very strong.
That's what I'm saying. It's fine, but it's they beat Syracuse 70-7 last week. What are we doing?
I mean, you can say the same thing about us to Illinois.
That's
Anyways,
fair.
Iowa at
I
Nebraska.
said they should be a playoff team.
We're on to the Big Ten, and we're back to Friday. Iowa at Nebraska.
Yeah, this is where I thought you were starting. I love this game, and I think it's at Nebraska. I think Nebraska wins.
Decommitted.
Who?
Dayton Raiola.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had to double check, make sure I wasn't getting punked again. I had a double take.
I like Nebraska, believe it or not.
That's crazy. I like Iowa.
Iowa's a different team on the road.
Yeah, I still like Iowa.
Gronowski can't throw the ball.
Yeah. Neither can Nebraska because they're starting Latif. So
he's not playing.
Latif's been starting.
Really?
Yeah, Emmett Johnson's been carrying them down the stretch. Yeah,
I know. I saw his numbers today. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. All right. The big game, Ohio State at Michigan. Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite.
I wish this was last year's Michigan defense because then I would pick them.
I like Ohio State big.
So do I. I think this is going to be 4 to 5 years of we couldn't beat Michigan taken out. This might be 70-0
on a poor little 19-year-old kid who is 19. He's just 19. Like, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just 19 going up against Ohio State's defense. I mean, that's just an issue, right? And Ohio State's going to score 3 touchdowns at least. It's going to be tough for Michigan to get there against this defense. So, best of luck to them. I like the Buckeyes here.
I agree.
It's funny because we were talking about how we could face Michigan in the Big Ten title game, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, it would take. I mean, Ohio State would have to choke. They would have to give this.
By the way, we
away.
were all over our Big Ten picks last week. We have, if anyone has a good grasp on the Big Ten right now, it's us. I feel like every week we're like so on it. We picked the Wisconsin game over Illinois last week. It was just
we picked Penn State.
Right? It's a spot. I mean, we're split on Nebraska, Iowa, but I think I've shifted you more toward Iowa.
No,
but,
we picked Penn State. We had Penn State up big.
Penn State was obvious. Oregon at Washington. This could get interesting.
Dan Lanning 1-3 against Oregon, but 1-0 against Jed Fish.
You mean 1-3 against DeBoer?
No, 0-2 against DeBoer.
Interesting. Yeah, I like the Ducks here. I mean, they just have to win. If they lose, they're out.
They can't. I think they can afford a second one. I do. I think they can afford this loss, but I don't see them losing this game. They need to win to give themselves a shot to make the Big Ten title game. So they need to win. Although by the time this game gets played, they probably will know either way.
Yeah, exactly. So that can make things interesting. So if they find out they're not in it going into this game, an 8-3 Washington team is fully capable of sneaking up on this team at home. So they just better be ready. But Dan Lanning will have them ready. Like, he just will.
Yeah, and then we'll get a nice Ducks versus them.
Wisconsin at Minnesota.
Give me Wisconsin. The boys are rolling.
Wisconsin's on a tear. I like Minnesota, though, unfortunately.
It's at Minnesota?
At Minnesota. It's 1.5-point spread, though. They're favoring Wisconsin on a neutral field.
Give me Wisconsin.
Favoring Wisconsin on a neutral field. So I think
it's the defense for me. It's Wisconsin's defense for me. Defense travels.
Minnesota plays good complementary football. They're just not as good as they were in years past. They're already bowl eligible, so like they're doing their baseline minimum of what a PJ Fleck coach team is going to do. Rivalry game could get interesting. So I don't hate the Wisconsin pick. I'm taking Minnesota here. I'm kind of a PJ Fleck sucker, but just how it goes. Penn State at Rutgers.
Penn State keeps it. Penn State, this is for bowl eligibility.
Yeah. It's a bowl game.
Penn State makes a bowl. They might just roll with what's his face.
No, they can't. They can't do that. They just can't. Maryland at Michigan State.
Maryland.
Yeah, they're just the better team. It is at Michigan State, and it's very disappointing that
Michigan State wasn't better.
I mean, this is a perfect example of there can only be one winner. It's Michigan State. They're clearly just the losers now. So interesting. Northwestern at Illinois.
Northwestern can win this game.
Oh, for sure. I don't think they will, though.
I don't think they will either, but they can.
Senior day.
Yeah, last home start for Altmaier. All those kids will drive back for that game too. They're psychos.
Yeah, it'll be tough to see Altmaier kind of go out like that because he's had a tremendous career. So I would like to see him come out with a win over Northwestern at home. I think that'd be awesome for him in his career because he's been a Big Ten staple the past 3 years. So made a big impact on this league. But you got – what's your official pick?
No, I like Illinois. All right,
UCLA at USC. USC is a 3-touchdown favorite. I mean, I'm just not going to pick them. There's just no way. I have to pick UCLA.
Trojans big.
Yeah, this could get interesting. Interesting rivalry where I know for a fact, the records don't mean anything in this game. Pac-12 memory of the week. It's 2006. A 6-5 unranked UCLA team hosts the number 1 team in the country, the USC Trojans, and defeat them 13-9 in the Rose Bowl.
So you're thinking it's going to be like
led by 2-star quarterback Pat Cowan, and a deflection interception by Eric McNeil at the end as he was throwing it. John David Booty was throwing an out route to Dwayne Jarrett. They were driving. They were honestly in field.
We all know. We were obviously all of us were super locked into that game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, in 2006. Yeah, I was there. I was at the game. How about that? That's how locked in I was. It's still the greatest game I've ever been to this point, and the total was 22. Electric. But yeah, that's the slate. We got the Hoosiers up 63-46 on Kansas State right now in hoops. I'm liking what I'm seeing. The defense.
I'm also liking what I'm seeing.
Is insane.
I gotta be honest. I haven't really.
They're not the biggest team we're going to see all year, but it's not like they're small. That team's still going to have to go up against the Big 12 teams. They're defensively very sound right now, the Hoosiers. And as long as they can just keep shooting average, which for them is 39% from 3, I think they can do some damage in this conference.
Jesus, how bad is Enright hurt?
Wait, I missed that. Oh yeah, he's not even on the bench. No, Enright's playing right now.
Is that him on the ground? Yeah, it was him on the ground. You get hit where do you get hit?
Where are you at? I'm at 11:04.
11:16. I'm behind.
Yeah, so he's fine. He's up.
Is he running around out there? That's good. They were both laying on the ground. I think this is a good time to allow people to enjoy the last 10 minutes of the game, watching Indiana victory.
I would love to put on volume. To be honest, I can't do that if I'm.
No, I think this is a good spot. It's a good spot to end. We did get 2 hours off the bye week.
2 hours. Yeah, you know, right?
Yeah.
Also, I want to eat some more Chipotle, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, I gotta go downstairs, make a little personal pizza. It'll be good stuff. I'll be back on. I was gonna say Saturday night. On Friday night, with a reaction video. I'll be. It might come out Saturday morning. I'm not. Don't hold me to that. Sunday, Brad and I will be live.
I might be able to do a Friday video with you. I'll let you know.
Let me know.
All right.
Let me know. But yeah. Yeah, shout out to everybody hanging out with us tonight. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're hanging out on Twitter, hop over to the YouTube page. Again, check us out, Indiana at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at IndianaVOCFB. Check me out at Alec Keiser. Check out Brad at Bradley_Loomis8. Yeah, we're releasing videos every day. We're tweeting all the time. Brad's going to tweet more like he's been telling me all the time. And
I was on a roll at one point, but it just kind of.
The intro music is 1621. The outro music is the Sweet Sound of Butter Symphony. And the Indiana Hoosiers play football again this weekend. That is a beautiful thing. A chance to keep the bucket, a chance to see the guys get healthy again, and a chance for Heisman Doza to stake his claim to his trophy.
Will we get a Heisman pose, potentially? Could we see that if he runs one in?
I like it. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say we are getting a Heisman pose against Purdue.
Stay tuned. I don't see Fernando doing that in a million.
And please stick Roman Hemby in the slot for one snap.
Yep, because I'm gonna win my. How much did we bet on it? $1,000, right? Something like that.
No, it was a beer, Brad.
Good try. Yeah.
Listen to the Sweet Sound of Butter Symphony plays. I appreciate everybody hanging out. We'll see you guys on Friday night, Saturday, or whatever. We'll see you guys soon.